We are live.
All right. So a very good evening from Nairobi, Kenya, where we're coming from live. Basically, on our episode of today of Sports 360, we are going to recap the Kenyan season and just see and discuss what football has been up to in Kenya. And today we are joined by, of course, our in-house co-host Martin Moses and Bonface Osano, who is a journalist who takes a keen interest in African football, and he comes in with his experience and expertise of having covered this game for a long time. So Bonface, karibu sana.
Asante sana Grace and Martin.
So, gentlemen, kicking us off our discussion today is maybe we just have a recap of the 2019-2020 season of the Kenya Premier League. Boniface, what do you think stood out for you, and what do you think the challenges has been for the game during this season?
I think I would say it has been one of the worst seasons I've really covered because we had so many challenges even before the corona issue cropped up. We had the issues of lack of finances. Most clubs were really struggling. Teams like Sony got relegated. We saw a lot of walkovers being dished out. So I think it was a really low season for me because when you see walkovers being dished out there, you know that we've reached a point in our league that we are really at the lowest. So I think that to me punctuated the whole season. And then the corona thing came up, and the federation decided that enough was enough. We had to do away with the season, crown a champion, relegate, and promote from the lower leagues. And maybe we start thinking about the next season. So to me, it's been not a season that I would have wished for. And I think it's glad I'm somehow relieved and glad that it has been done away with, and you can now sit back and think about how we can make the next season better.
You will realize that of the big challenge that we had in financial constraints, and I think that has been dealt with by the federation in that we will be having the Bet King Premier League, the Bet King company taking over the sponsorship. What do you make of that deal with between Bet King, and what can you expect moving forward?
I think the deal is coming at a time that our league really needed that kind of financial shot in the arm, and I think it comes at it gives a lot of hope, even as we try to think about next season. Of course, there have been a lot of issues around it. As you know, we are in the political season, so there have been a lot of questions around it. Some people are saying the federation is just trying to play politics. Some have heard saying that the federation, as it is, does not have the mandate to sign such a deal. So there have been a lot of talk, but they've also questioned why a betting firm. Some people have raised that one, but people are talking, and a lot is being said. But betting is not the first betting firm to sponsor sports in this country. We had SportPesa before. If you look at teams like Sofapaka, they've had Betika, so it's not something new. And even as some people try to raise the issue of the integrity of the game in terms of match fixing and all of that, I think as the management of football in Kenya, of course, they'll have to look into it to ensure that the integrity of the game is upheld, even as we welcome the new sponsor. So I would say let's wait and see. Just want to hope that it's a genuine deal. I have no reason to doubt it because, of course, BetKing has been around. We've seen them in Nigeria. We've seen them advertising even with the SuperSport and the rest. So I'll be patient, but of course very keen to see how everything unfolds. So I would say it's a deal that's coming at the right time, and it's giving hope even as we plan for next season.
And just maybe to weigh on that, Bonface, there is something that doesn't come out clear maybe to the normal football fan. The clubs are entitled, or rather are mandated to look for their own funds. So it is not in the place of the league sponsor to finance the club's say budget. So don't you think that the clubs are sort of showing some entitlement, sort of trying to think, okay, that maybe the league sponsor is here, but then some clubs say that there are terms that they need to be privy to. What's your take on that?
I would like to say that whatever the federation has done is more of a favor to the clubs, because as you have put it, our club should be self-sustaining. If you look at what we call the CAF club licensing, it gives a guideline and the rules that a club should apply in order for them to become professional and become self-sustaining. In normal circumstances, it shouldn't be that it's the league body that is providing funds. They can only augment whatever the clubs are doing. Actually, the league should only be concentrating about facilitating. The federation should only be concerned with the facilitating the league in terms of maybe paying the referees and the match officials and all that. So as you put it, I think clubs should do more than just rely on this amount that BetKing is bringing. They should work more to ensure that they harness their potential and get money out of their own businesses. Because as we've seen in the past, when a sponsor pulls out and all clubs are in the panic mode. We've seen some getting relegated and all that, because it means that they were only depending on whatever the grants they were getting from the league body or the federation, which should not be the case.
I would really like to second that bit by saying, when before you open a club, you're supposed to know, I'm opening this club. For example, I'm going to call it Pepper FC, and after some time, I'll be getting my funds from this point. I'm expecting to pay my players with funds from this source. So I really think clubs, when a person is forming a club, you really need to know where you'll get your funds from. Then the league just comes in to complement you. The way BetKing will be complementing the clubs with 8 million per year. Then moving on, there have been issues of now that BetKing has come. A lot of the times we'll see them. We expect that the jerseys of players of KPL will be having BetKing on their chests. What about the clubs that are being sponsored by other bet companies? For example, Goran FC now BetSafe, Sofapaka have been having Betika. How will they go about that, Osan?
I think we should be very clear on this, and there's also need for a lot of honesty when we are tackling this, because I've seen a lot of misinformation around that particular issue of the logo of BetKing being put on the sleeves of the jerseys of clubs. It's not true. The logo that's going to be there, it's the logo of BetKing Premier League, not BetKing the company. And even when we had SportPesa, a Premier League, we had the logo of SportPesa Premier League on the sleeves, not the logo of SportPesa the company. So I think that one should really come out clear, and there shouldn't be any misinformation around it, because you don't just give away a space, especially on the sleeves of a jersey for 8 million in a season. It's quite expensive to acquire such a right. If you look at even in England, the deal that Arsenal is having with Arsenal, it's big money. Even locally, when Gor Mahia had a second sponsor and they occupied the sleeve, they paid about 50 million per season. So it should be clear that a sleeve of a jersey is quite expensive, and you cannot just let it go for 8 million shillings alone per season. And it's clear in the deal that it's the the BetKing Premier League logo, not the BetKing logo, that will be placed on the sleeves of the jerseys.
Okay.
And maybe to add on that, I think we are coming into a very interesting time where we see locally that the fans are interested to know what happens in these deals. I think also the clubs have a role to play, also to take advantage of this season, maybe to do those rallying calls to their fan base, maybe in terms of merchandise, because I feel that as much as football is at a halt right now, the clubs have been reduced to more of beggars, because if you're not asking the government to support the game, we are not doing anything. So I think the clubs should step up more and maybe make use of this time to make a rallying call to their fan base, maybe up their merchandise game. I've seen a few clubs which have officially opened stores locally for their fans to purchase their merchandise. So I think I will still insist that our clubs need to step up and do more.
Yeah, I think that's right. And just to go back a bit, I think the federation has been very lenient with clubs. They started the process of implementing the CAF club licensing, and at some point, I don't know what happened, and it all fizzled out, and we're no longer hearing about it being talked about. If you were to be very strict and insist that clubs apply these rules so that become professional, then we won't be having clubs that do not deserve to be in the Premier League, playing in the Premier League. The rules are very clear. There are bare minimums that you must have. There are things you must do. You must be professional. You must be able to generate your own money. You must be self-sustaining for you to be in the league. So I think we must go back to those rules and compel our clubs to abide by them and apply them.
At the end of the day, it comes to this branding. How well are you branding your club to make sure that even when sponsors come in, they'll see there's something good for us, there's something marketable for us, there's something profitable for us to invest in your club. Let's go to the transitional team that has been set in place. That team that has the chairman of FC Leopards, Tusker FC, Karibangi Sharks, Easy Stars, and Zoo FC. Now that we are done with the KPL and this transitional team that have been put in charge to oversee that transitional period, how big do you think the task is, given that the league has been reliant on on KPL to manage them for a long period of time? How big do you think the task of this group of five chairmen, how big do you think the task is going forward?
I think the ad hoc team has their work cut out for them because, first of all, there's been a lot of mistrust between the federation and KPL. So I think for them to begin on a clean slate, they should really build a lot of confidence and understanding within the whole system, so that the transition from KPL to the FKF PL is as smooth as possible, and they should really work, because we really don't have a lot of time, because we are all predicting that by September at least the league should resume. So they have a lot of work to do within a very short time, and to me, but the advantage they have that there's already a body, FKF Premier League, that was already registered, so they already have a vehicle that they're going to use to implement some of the things that they need to implement. So as I've said, they have a lot to do. They need to build trust. It's very important, because as per now we have like some 2-3 clubs who are they don't look like they are on board. That's, I think, Gor Mahia and Zoia and the Kakamega Homeboys. And for us to move forward in unity, I think the ad hoc committee should reach out to them and bring them on board, so that we really don't go back to those days of wrangles between the league management body and the federation. So they should really work very hard to bring a lot of cohesion and harmony and inform all the stakeholders about the steps they are taking, even as they move, as they help in this transitional period.
Yeah, and maybe to add on that, I think we are the game is in a position, is in a stage whereby there's a lot of politics involved. Being that this was an election year, but I think the clubs need to be able to differentiate that there is politics, of course, it's part of the game, but then as chairman, as the custodians of the clubs who are tasked into with steering the game forward, what role? I think what I'll be expecting from them is to move above the politics of the day and bring back the game where it deserves to be. Because as much as there is the transition, we need to see fans back to the stadium. We need to stop hearing these stories of walkovers and all that. We need an experience when we go to the stadiums. We need a league whereby players are well paid, well, the referees are being sorted out, and there's no complaint. So I think when we raise above the politics and have the interest of the game at heart, we'll be able to move forward.
Politics or not, I think this is one of the best deals that we've ever seen in the country, because I mean, somebody giving you 8 million, in as much as many people are still think that that money won't be able to cater for their transport costs, maybe allowances, accommodation. I think 0 shillings is better than 8 million shillings per year. So at the end of the day, the regulators said it's just removing, going beyond the fact that it's politics and trying to get the positivities out of this deal. And at the end of the day, I think we can transform the level of football in the country. Let's put aside that Bet King sponsorship deal, and maybe let's come to Gor Mahia and FC. And let's start with Gor Mahia, the elections. Ambrose Rashia, the chairman, has been elected for another term. He went in unopposed. What do you have to say about that, Osano?
Rachir has been around for quite some time, about 12 years, and I was a bit shocked that nobody came up to challenge him for the seat. But as a nation, I think there's something I've realized, especially with us, the youths. We tend to talk a lot, and we tend to also criticize a lot. But when time comes for us to really step forward and be the change that we keep on talking about, we somehow tend to shy away, and that's why you see somebody like Rachel is going unopposed, which should not be the case. Yeah, so I think if you want to develop this game, it should start with us. Some of us who are critical and vocal, and in saying that this is how things should be done. It should have been done this way, that way. Fans should go to the stadium. You say that, but you only say it on social media. You don't go to the stadium. So, to me, these are some of the things that we need to talk about. We need to be bold. We need to be bold. We need to step forward and challenge for some of these seats, and try to implement many of the ideas that we have. But one thing I think for the very first time, God has tried to organize. I'm more organized. I followed some of their past elections. They've not been some of the best, but for now, I'm seeing some order. They're going to use to vote online for the very first time, and I think that one will enhance credibility and transparency. So I think it's a step in the right direction. And for the first time, you've seen that the register for voters has been closed almost a month or two to the elections. I think that's a step in the right direction, because before we would see a situation whereby you go and hire people, transport them to the venue, maybe Nyayo or Kasarani, and tell them to vote for you. So I think that's a step in the right direction. But moving forward, I would say our clubs don't really need these elections, because these elections are quite disruptive. Because I can't remember the last time a club like Arsenal held elections to elect the chairman, I think their last chairman, they have a chairman who is quite, there's one who died, I can't remember his name, but he was quite old and he stayed there for so long. We never heard about elections and all that. They have a board, that's the business in a very professional way. And this madness of elections, it does not interfere with their programs, because as you know, in our country, once you mention elections, it's like life comes to a stop. So it brings a lot of instability in the management of our clubs, and even at the federation, you can see now there's a lot of politics. When we hear about politics, I think Kenyans, we have a great appetite for politics. Yeah.
But when you go to the FC Leopard side, I think,
Yes.
do you think this is the time that FC has gotten it right in terms of, minimal disruptions, minimal, everything seems to be going smoothly at FC. What's your take
Yeah,
on
I
that?
think to be honest, I think there's something good cooking at the Den. We've seen Dan Shikanda has been coming out and expressing himself very well and articulating some of the things that he wants to do. And we've seen them. I've seen him do some of the things. We've been talking about this issue of merchandising, and for once, Ingwe is setting up a shop in Nairobi. Just the other day, I read in the newspapers that they're shipping in the replica jerseys, and they should be going on sales very soon. I think that's quite positive. The other day, they cleared the land rates for the land that the former president Moi gave them around Kasarani, and they intend to start building a training ground. So I think those are positive steps, and I think it boils down to a constitution which the members pass, which only gives about offers just about 3 elective posts, unlike before when they had like over 10 officials. So I think the lean office and brings a lot of harmony in how they work. So I think FC Leopards are on the right track.
Talking about elections, Osano, we also have the FKF elections, and I think it will only be wise if I asked you, are you still in the race? Because there was a time we saw your posters flying around. Are you still in the race?
I'm very much in the race, and I'm intending to go all the way. The only problem is there seem to be it looks like we have stagnated and there's no way a clear way forward on the elections. We've had a lot of cases, and we've gone through the sport dispute tribunal, and still we cannot clearly say that we're going to have these elections next month or the month after. So that's worrisome for me. Just today, I saw some individuals have gone ahead to register some county sports associations against the ruling by the SDT back in March 17. On March 17th, I think the SDT ruled that there's no way you can register county sport associations. You can only be affiliated to FKF at the national level. So I think to me that's a very worrying and a very wrong signal that is being sent out there. It could mean that you are still going to be in this state of suspense and an electioneering mood for some time. But I want to hope that FIFA can finally step in and give us the direction, because at the end of the day, they are the owners of the game. We are affiliated to them. They fund a lot of our programs. And they have a way, they have their rules that all their affiliated partners should be abide to. Yeah, so I just hope this should clear as soon as possible so that we can concentrate on more important issues of developing the game.
Yeah, I think it was also my hope that during this COVID-19 break, things will actually iron out and things will start moving. But FIFA still stand and say that we know there's a pandemic, and after all this, we are going to give a way forward to all this election fiasco. But I think the game has been affected and will continue to be affected as long as we let the political aspect of the game rule over, which we can't overlook. But I hope after all this SDT court and also the cancelling of the election, I think this is the third time. Maybe the next time we're going to have an election, then it will put a close to all this.
Yeah, that's our hope as aspirants, because it's also draining us. When you're in a race like this, you really want to see an end game, but for now, everything is still not clear, and it's draining us. It's taking a lot of our time, which is not necessary.
So who's your running mate, Bonface?
I want to state here and categorically that I have a running mate. I will not drop his name now. He's a former player, so he's really going to compliment me, because I personally, I didn't play the game at a respectable level, but with his experience as a former player and international, I think he'll be able to compliment me very well. So at the right time, I can assure you, you'll be the first to know who he or she is.
And the way I was busy hoping that I will slide my name inside there.
No, politics is not for for everyone. But if you're willing and sure that you can do it, then why not?
Okay, we'll be watching this space definitely. So
Yes,
it has been a very eventful year 2019 for the women's football in the country. We had a very good run towards to the slot of the Olympic slot, which we came short of, but we redeemed ourselves and got the Sekafa Cup. 2020 was going to be our year that we will be making another shot at the Awon Cup, but then Corona happened. But Osano, looking at what has been going on at CAF, do you think even CAF was ready for the Women Cup of Nations this year?
Well, I must say I was really heartbroken for the ladies in the game, because CAF announcing that they had scrapped the 2020 outcome. I think that was a very devastating decision that CAF took, because unlike men, ladies, as you know, they need to be taken care of more as compared to even men, because I think they tend to, they don't get a lot of chance to play at the highest stage, and I was so disappointed when CAF decided to scrap the AFCON 2022. But even if you look back a bit, even up to that time that it was being scrapped, we had not been told the host country. At first, we thought Nigeria was going to host, and then they pulled out, and then the qualifiers were going on, and we still didn't know who was going to host it. So I think it was such a sad situation that we were in, and I think CAF just took the advantage of the Corona pandemic to do away with the tournament, which I think was very sad, because if you ask me, I would have done away with Chan in Cameroon in 2021 and staged the women, because already we are going to have the AFCON in 2022. So why deny the ladies a chance to at least have one tournament? Chan to me is more of AFCON at a lower level, so we could have done away with it and given our ladies a chance to showcase their talent. We don't know if some of the ladies that would have played in this year's AFCON would make it to the next one. You know, some of them could even get married, could shift to other things, because as you know, even the local league has been on and off, so there's a lot of distraction. And I think Alcon was presenting them with an opportunity to at least get engaged and continue pursuing their dream in football.
I can see
And
some bio
looking,
viewing, sorry, and he's saying that it's hard to hold elections in the current COVID-19 state that has crippled public gatherings. That's Sampaio Dennis right here on Facebook. Yes?
yeah, I was just trying to rejoin that Osano CAF said we're not going to hold our own, but then there's the Champions League that comes in 2021. Do you think this is a stage that is going to give a rise, or rather is going to give the ladies game in the region the center stage that it deserves? And what do you think are our chances as in the local league, knowing that we can send one team to the Champions League? What's your take on that?
The proposed Champions League, Women's Champions League, honestly, we don't even know the format. We don't know who is going to qualify and how it's going to be hosted, because staging a Champions League is not easy, because we don't have very strong women teams in Africa. Maybe apart from a few in Nigeria and maybe in South Africa mainly, most of our teams are still very, very amateur, and I don't think they'll even be having the financial muscle to move around Africa, because you need to travel to honor some of these matches. We've seen even our men's team struggle to honor Champions League matches. Gor Mahia is always begging. So what about our ladies? So I think CAF were just trying to please us by saying that we are going to host the Champions League for ladies next year, but they're not giving us any roadmap or any plans on how they're going to do it. But still, I think it was an idea that was long overdue. The Champions League, we have some good teams here in Kenya, the Thika Queens. I think if they are well supported, they can do it, and I think if I were part of the management of some of the women clubs there, I would start knocking on the doors of the sports ministry, so that to let them know that there's a competition coming up in Africa that we'd wish to be part of, just to let them know and what would be required, things like the logistics, the cost, and all that. But overall, it's a good idea. But how it was presented by CAF to me is a bit fishy.
Let me just recap it for our viewer back then. The CAF president, Ahmad, he said he recently revealed a football strategy that's based on 5 pillars. The pillars of development, competitions, marketing and promotion, professionalization, and social impact. And it's in that package where they recently announced that they plan to start the Women's Champions League starting from 2021. Let's come back here to Kenya, because you have talked about if teams can be can be supported adequately, then they can compete on a fair ground with their competitors from other countries. Let's talk about the structures that we have in Kenya here, and particularly I want you to talk about Toko Mwanda. What do you have to say about our structures here in Kenya?
Wow, Toko Mwanda is a shame. It's a national shame to have such a facility. The oldest stadium in the country, in such a state, right within the capital city of Kenya. I think it's a big shame, and the government and anybody else who is responsible, Sports Kenya and all that, they must rise to the occasion. They must rise to the occasion and see to it that that facility, something is done, because in terms of even fans attendance, I think City Stadium was one of the best, because it's a stadium located near the estate, so fans found it very easy to go to the stadium, and I think it made the atmosphere around that place very nice. I remember attending some of the games there, like Yeah, when Gor lost to or failed to win the league against Thika United, the atmosphere was terrific until that particular moment when they failed to do it. So this is a stadium that I would urge everybody responsible to just come out and try to put pressure on anybody who was the contractor who was given the job to just do it. They just have to do it. But I'm also pleased that Nyayo is now complete. We have Kasarani. We also have some counties have done well in trying to help the government with this infrastructure thing. I just read the other day that Afra Stadium will be renovated in a partnership with the World Bank. We've seen stadiums coming up in Siaya and Kisumu. So I think the future is bright, and we should should continue to put more funds in the development of infrastructure.
Whenever I hear about the stadium talk, I ask myself if we didn't have Kasarani and Nyayo Stadium, where will we be? I think as a nation we've gotten comfortable with the fact that uh, some of these things that we need to have to support our sportsmen across all the disciplines, we are made to feel like we are favors. But then for you to have any thriving sports industry, you need to invest in the infrastructures. Osano, you covered AFCON and you saw what Egypt, even clubs, the extent that they've put into their infrastructures, the stadiums. You saw how a joke we are. Sorry to say so.
Yeah. It's something that I didn't even want to talk about, because if you even try to compare it, the divide is quite huge. And just to let you know, just before this Corona thing came about, I think the CAF had told Zimbabwe that they were not going to host any more international matches in the country, because their only stadium, I think, is the Hero Stadium in Harare, uh, could not meet the set standards. So they were going to host their next AFCON qualifying match in a neighboring country. Can you imagine such a situation? So, I think we should be, even Uganda were going to face the same situation, because Nambole is not up to scratch. So I think government should realize that sports is very serious, and they should take it as seriously as possible, because some of them just see it as a pastime, and that's why you see the Ministry of Sports is always put together with the Ministry of Culture and Arts and all that, when it should be a ministry on its own. Yeah, so I think we really need to get serious when it comes to sports facilities.
The Ministry of Sports should be a ministry on its own. Hizi mambo ya culture and
Yes.
arts should go to another ministry.
Yes.
Okay, good. Moving forward, on a closing introspection, the poster for this show, somebody will realize that on the background we had it was Kasarani Stadium and it was filled to the brim. But nowadays we also realize Mashemeji Derby, one of the oldest derbies we have around in the country. Nowadays the number of fans that usually attend those matches, the numbers are receding. What do you think we can do to maybe reach the levels of the Kariakoo Derby, the Simba versus Yanga, the levels of Simba versus Yanga, in that we can be able to try and sensitize people to come out and watch Kenya Premier League matches? What is it that we are not doing that the Tanzanian Premier League is doing so well that fans are coming out and watching their games?
I think planning, we really fail because we really don't plan well around the derby. Because if you look, for example, the Soweto derby, that particular match, they plan it like 3 months to the match, and the tickets sell out even be like 2 or 3 months to the game. So, but when you come to the Mashimeji derby, you see like a week to, and we don't even know which venue is going to host it. At times you hear Sports Kenya saying, "Oh, Ingwe, the fans damaged the seats the other day, so they're not going to grant them access to the stadium," and all that. It brings a lot of confusion. So, first of all, we must have our planning right. Secondly, we must market the derby, because the Kariakoo derby has a lot of media hype. everywhere you go. The print, radio, and TV. It's all about the derby. Everybody's talking about the derby, and I think in that regard, I would say our media, the Kenyan media, has somehow failed us, and they can't do more to help promote the match, because our media, we tend to talk too much about the English Premier League and the European football, not forgetting that we have a league of our own to promote, and this is where we earn. Most of us earn out of this of our league, and so I think we should do more to promote it. Secondly, I think we should work around having to create an experience around Mashemeji Derby. For now, we only sell football, and it's not enough. You're not going to fill a Kasarani Stadium by football fans alone. No, you must create something much more. Tell the families to come over. For some activities, you can find a lot of things to just attract the families to come on board. So it's not just about, let's not just think about only football fans going to attend the matches, but other people who just want to go and relax and enjoy themselves and some other things. You should also have them on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grace, if you can hear me, Grace.
I think my network is a bit shaky. You can go ahead as I try to rectify it.
Okay, I want us to stick with the Tanzanian Premier League, and the reports are emerging from that play from Tanzanian Premier League today about Lucky Mile, the one-time FC Leopards coach. He really said a lot of distasteful comments during that match on Saturday, and he has since been sacked by Yanga FC. What will you say about Lucky Mile as a coach? Because he's not new to controversies.
I think it was very unfortunate that a coach of his stature could stoop that low to as to say some of the things that he said. I think it's very shameful, and I think Yanga did well to sack him. He should have been sacked like 2 weeks ago, because he talks too much. I've tried to follow him. He's somebody who is very careless with his words. He lacks a lot. He likes a lot of drama, and I think it's unfortunate that in Africa we entertain such coaches. Some of these European coaches you see around here cannot even manage primary school teams in Europe, but when they come here, we make them look very big, and then this gets into their minds, and it makes them behave like Luke Emael. I think it's very disgraceful that we could have a coach saying all that and disrespecting a whole country. I also saw that the Tanzanian Federation are going to write to FIFA so that a stern action can be taken against him, because FIFA has made it clear that they will not tolerate anything touching on racism or anything disrespectful to the game.
Mm-hmm. Let me just sample a few comments here on Facebook. Coaching Steven is saying that football is all about hype. There's no way we can have fans if there's nothing to pull us there. The pull is the hype. And he goes ahead to reminisce on the Stars versus Ethiopia match, because if you can remember that game in Kasarani, the stadium was filled to the brim. Then Sampaio Dennis also said that AFC Leopards need to step up and challenge Gor Mahia to attract more fans. Then he goes ahead and says on Mile now, the coach was right, but used derogatory words. Yanga is poorly managed. He's saying that yes, the coach, what he said wasn't correct, but he was right by saying that Yanga FC, the playing conditions, what Emile was trying to complain about. But at the end of the day, we really admonish that behavior of trying to say a lot of distasteful comments towards the Tanzanian people.
But you guys, you'll be surprised to see that this guy will have a job offer. Maybe even he has one on the table. So it's really a disgusting situation, actually. You trash the employers and you trash the people who actually have given you this kind of job.
Yeah, I think as Africans, we should really respect ourselves. We should respect our coaches. We should empower them so that we don't have some of these coaches who can get employed back in their countries in Europe. They come here and disrespect us. I think we should do more to empower our coaches, train them more so that they can fill some of these positions. You don't need somebody like Luke to come here to disrespect you when you have somebody who can do the job well within the country.
Maybe as we come to a close, I want us to reflect on the Africa Cup of Nations, the chances that Harambee Stars has. We had played 2 games before the disruption by COVID-19. We had a point away to Egypt, and we also had a point here at home to Togo. We are still yet to play Comoros home and away, and we also yet to play Togo away and Egypt here at home. Honestly speaking, how are our chances looking ahead of the AFCON 2021 now that has been postponed to 2022?
I think when it comes to African football, the biggest thing is how well do you prepare for a match. And I think history has shown us that if you're well prepared, then you can always get the result. If you get the logistics well, you treat your players well, they travel in time and all that, then you are like 50%, 50% there. So whatever is remaining, then you can manage in the stadium. So of course, we people expected that you would beat Togo, but we managed a point. Uh, in this qualifiers, the biggest thing is for you to win at home, and that's the nature of African football. In African football, even if you check the Champions League, teams win at home. You must win at home at all costs. Even if you go and lose 10-0 away, but you must get the 3 points at home. So I think that to me was a dent, but we can still recover. We can force a few draws away and try to win more matches at home. But a lot needs to be done around squad selection and all that to make sure that we only give opportunities to players who deserve, and those who are actively playing. We should not just fail based on a big name or titles. We should do it on merit. Actually, this is one of the areas that I have with local coaches. They tend not to make big calls when they're needed to. So it's an area that I've always criticized them about, and I hope they will improve so that we don't have a Luke Miles coming here to insult us.
You've talked about teams winning their home games, and I've remembered there's a team I used to support in the English Premier League. They were beaten 3-0 at home. I said that we really need to win at home. But anyway, moving on. What about World Cup 2022 in Qatar? There's a group you have in Mali, Uganda, and Rwanda. It's the second round of qualification before the final round of qualification. Mali, Uganda, Rwanda. Can you really top this group?
To be honest, World Cup is still a long shot because as a continent we only present five teams. So a lot needs to be done for us to qualify for the World Cup. We need a long-term plan. I heard the federation talked about it when they got elected in 2016. I think they said they had a plan. I'm yet to see the fruits because we should be seeing young players coming up and getting to the national level. That's when you can talk about now you're progressing and you can start dreaming of going to the World Cup. If you look at the squad that went to 2010 World Cup, the squad that Ghana sent to 2010 World Cup, it was full of youngsters, and I think Ghana was at their peak at that particular time. And as they age, you've seen Ghana struggle a lot. Even in the last AFCON qualifiers, we managed to beat them here. So football and qualifying for major tournaments needs a lot of planning, a lot of long-term planning. If you're not doing that, just forget about qualification to major football tournaments.
And I think if you'd ask me, Kimanzi's work is cut out for AFCON 2022. If I was asked if the women team or the men team is going to take us to who is going to take us to the World Cup first, I would say the ladies. Why? Our chances in Africa are quite high. We just need to invest on more playing time, especially on the club level, expose the girls more. Then we have a stronger national team that we can field in competitive, tournaments. If we get AFCON 2022, I think that will be an attainable target for Kimanzi. World Cup, I will agree with Osano, is still a long shot.
Yeah, I think qualifying for the next AFCON, I think that one, Kimanzi has to deliver. No two ways about it. And if he doesn't, of course, he will have to leave. He must do all within his beings to make sure that we qualify for the next AFCON. I think that one is very much within our reach.
And Osano,
We have some.
Sorry.
Yes.
Please go on.
Yes, I'm saying I'm seeing some good talents. We have the likes of Marcelo coming up. Joseph Okumu is playing week in, week out in Europe. Olunga is banging in goals. Midfield has never been a big problem for us. So I think with a bit of organization and some speed work, I think Kimanzi has no excuse. He must give us AFCON qualification.
And you've actually headed to the direction that I was driving you. The goalkeeping
Yes.
department. You've named the back line, you've named the midfield, the striking. What conversations do we start having about our goalkeeping department? We can't shy away from that. We've seen Origi, warming up to coming back to don the jersey again. We've had goalkeepers that we've tried when we were having the AFCON campaigns, and we had Matasif, take the stage at AFCON. Do we have a solution for the goalkeeping department?
Ian Otieno, the Zesco United keeper. I think that's where the answer lies.
How about Origi?
Origi, he did his work, he did his job, but I don't think bringing him back into the fold is the best decision as per now. I think he served the nation well up to the level that he did, and I think now we have Ian who can pick it up and take us to the next level.
Linus Mbogo on Facebook is saying, I personally feel that our chances are actually very good. We need to force a draw away to Togo, and I feel that we need to drop Wanyama. He has been a dead weight for some time. Is that something you want to add? Or
the issue of Wanyama is quite hot, and almost everybody has his opinion about it.
yes,
But as I've said, as I just said, I think we need our coaches to be able to make some big calls when time requires. They should be able to make some big calls, and I want to leave it to Kimanzi. I want to see if he can rise to the occasion and make some very important decisions for the sake of the country.
I think we are done for today, Grace, unless you have anything else.
No, I think we've had quite a good evening. I mean, it's been 1 hour already, and we didn't realize it. But my parting shot will be, for the love of the game, let us all play our part. The journalists, the fans, the club officials, the federation, can we all play our parts and we will see this game move forward to where we'll all want to be. And Osano, thanks for coming by. Thanks for chatting with us. We'll definitely be calling you and call us next time you're launching, your manifesto and your campaign. We'll be definitely there. Be there.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for having me. I just want to call on all stakeholders in the FKF elections to put the interest of the game first. I think we have had a lot of protracted debate and back and forth over the elections. And I think it's time for us to just sit down and realize that this game needs all of us, and we need to put it first and ensure that we progress and we move forward. Yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
Thank you so much for everyone who made time for us today. Thank you very much, Osano, for being with us here. We've had a very exhaustive discussion, and all the best in your endeavor to be the next president of Football Kenya Federation.
Thank you so much, Martin.
See you some other time.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.